So there have been some very interesting events going on recently in the news about realtors, the Realtor Association, and lawsuits against some big brokerages. First, the National Association of Realtors president resigned over sexual harassment charges, which is really messed up considering one of the big things that the Realtors Association promotes are their ethical standards. And then there is a huge lawsuit because of the way that the commissions are distributed, meaning that the seller pays the commissions, but then the commissions are used to pay the buyer's agent. And REMAX, in fact, has settled for $55 million in that lawsuit, where the National Association of Realtors said that they will not settle, that they'll go ahead and take it to court. So first, I wanted to share the way it works here in Hampton Roads with realtors and real estate agents. Every real estate agent is not a realtor. Here in Hampton Roads, you do not have to be a member of the Realtors Association to have access to the multiple listing service. The multiple listing service is where the residential agents place their houses for sale, and that way we all cooperatively work together to sell the houses, meaning I have any company in Hampton Roads that lists a house on multiple listing service, every agent in any other company has full access to it. And on there, on the multiple listing service, it's posted what the buyer's agent commission is going to be. And there's not a fixed amount for that. There cannot be fixed commissions, or it is considered price fixing. So if now if your brokerage is a member of the Hampton Roads Realtor Association, and in turn they would be a member of the National Realtors Association, then every agent in there has to be a member of that association, or the brokerage still has to pay the fee for that person, whether they join or not. So naturally it makes sense that if an agent joins a firm that is a member of the Realtors Association, then they would in turn join and become a realtor. Now this is somewhat unique because in North Carolina, I'm a member there of the Albemarle Association, and they are the Realtors Association and the Multiple Listing Service. So there is no other option if you want to be a member of the Multiple Listing Service, which as a residential agent, you pretty much need to be to operate. Now, as far as the lawsuit, so the way it's been organized for a long time is the sellers paid the commission to the listing brokerage, and then the listing brokerage offers a percentage of that commission to the buyer's agent, and but the buyer's agent truly represents the buyer. They sign a buyer broker agreement. So in theory, it feels like the seller is paying money to have somebody work against them. And I completely understand that. When I first started in real estate in 2000, the way it was organized then was we didn't have buyer broker agreements. Everybody technically represented the seller and the seller's interest. Now, there were agents who still, took the buyers to houses and got paid a commission for assisting the buyers. However, in theory, they still represented the sellers. So this is something that's definitely, there's some fuzzy logic in there too, as far as who's actually paying the commissions, because I've heard it from both sides, like while the commission money comes out of the seller's proceeds, the buyer is the one who's actually bringing the money to the table to pay for the closing. So all the money is actually coming from the buyer and then gets distributed that way. How this is all going to play out and what's going to happen, time will tell. We've definitely seen as the things have kind of tightened here and it's become a seller's market, we've seen commissions actually go down for buyer's agent, and I've seen that in the MLS that they're listing different commissions. Now, I believe the crux of the argument is that there was required to be some kind of buyer's commission or compensation, and that is the issue, that you should not be required to have to pay a buyer's agent if you are for the seller. So if the seller says, okay, I want to hire you to sell my house, but I don't want you to pay the buyer's agent anything. Now, while I agree that the seller should certainly have that option, it doesn't really make sense because of just the system that we've got now. Now the system may change, and we can definitely see, where things go from here. But for now, if I were to list a house today and we were not to offer a buyer's agent commission, you would miss out on such a large percentage of the market that you would sell the home for less money, and it just wouldn't make sense. Or it would take more time. It's possible you could still eventually sell the house. However, it would take more time, though often when the house is on the market for longer, it sells for less money just because of the stigma. So my opinion on all this is don't know, don't care. However it kind of falls out, I'm not somebody who's going to try to fight against the system, but things are the way they are right now, and that's all I got.